Everybody wants to be a cat because a cat's the only cat. I might start saying, what that cat over there doing? What that cat say? I remember, look, I didn't think that of it, but that right there is a perfectly poached egg. Everybody wants to be. I feel like I need to download that song now. Hallelujah. Golly, man. This cat's already getting poached eggs. Salmon. So the cat, for fact, isn't eating raw food yet. But I kind of love that the cat's potty trained. Because it's so far. They say wait till that nigga starts spraying though, T. I'll wait. But if I were to do it, I'd use the same method. I'd cook some of the food, because when I cooked the chicken the other day, and I cooked some eggs, that joker ate, and that kind of got me excited. So that's a little raw beef, Trinisha, and then we'll get the rest of this today. And then I'm gonna turn around, top it off with some, man. And the irony is, we're gonna have some cat supplements here soon. So that'll be interesting. Everybody wants to be a cat. That's what I like to see though. That's what I like to see though. That's what I like to see. That joker eat some of that food. I know, buddy, don't worry. You gonna eat a little bit. Cats got their tongues too, man. Everybody wants to be a cat because the cat's the only cat who knows where it's at.
There we go.
We're about to start that flirt polling, people. This is an easy backyard workout to do with said Perro, aka Maestro. And this is just to see if he's gonna get interested. Now, I'm showing you guys this because this is behind the scenes. There was a day when Ego wouldn't chase nothing, and I tell you the day that I think I have to find it, but my buddy Rich, Ego was with Rich, and we stay in there, and I remember Rich throwing the ball, and Ego brought it back. He said, "Oh, this Joker bring it back?" I said, "Shit, that's news to me." And he did it 3 or 4 times. Now, clearly one of the other greatest assets that we all own is our time, right? Mm-hmm. Man, what have you learned about the time you spent with these dogs, man? Like, how important little things like this?
It's extremely important because it's one of those things that, you learn that it only takes a little bit of time for a lot of time to go a long way as far as when it comes to these dogs. So just coming out and spending 5 minutes with your dog, 10 minutes with your dog, and then going about your day, that's all it takes is if you do it day in and day out consistently, that is when you start seeing the results that you want to see. Most people think you come out, spend an hour, 2 hours, investing all this time into something where their attention span doesn't have that much, is not all there. So for me, I've learned that just even doing a little bit goes a long way, long term.
There you have it. Now, again, this right here is showing you guys in baby steps. Y'all like to go on a journey with us. I don't always show things, but there was a day, believe it or not, and Ego looking crazy. I think he had to be about maybe 12 weeks old in the backyard where I did a flirt pole and I put it together and I got him on there at Rich's house. He was not old when we was at Rich's house. He wasn't even 6 months old yet.
No, man.
And while whelping, Rich's first Frenchie litter. So I don't know if y'all saw it. Y'all saw him doing it because I got him going a little bit. Y'all ain't see this. I was like, damn. Here's the thing. Maestro's already communicated with his mouth. Maestro's also already doing what? Chasing balls a little bit. I toss a couple of cat balls. He picks those up. He's super curious right now. And I think even more, damn, he climbed over here. He's overstimulated here, but he's not got any drivers yet. And part of the drive, you go, okay. And so that's all I need to see is even him going and trying to stop it. You go, got you. If I see a teensy weensy of that, I know what to do. It's like eensy beensy teensy. Jamarcus, I was also talking about kind of just the losses and things and how to find your place in this life. And the thing is, big question is, have you really thought about how Nala influenced your life and what's really changed since she's not around, be it you went through a process, but not the process. The process is knowing your process A through Z, which I do. He's learning one dog at a time. Now he's you know, he would be considered a dog man to some of the dog men we know. But what did you learn most about yourself and just the dogs in general in her loss, man?
Patience, man. Patience is key. And it's one of those things that, you know, that's what she taught me through this whole entire process, is to be patient. Now, since her loss, the other part is just like, you know, you think you lost, but then you still have these other dogs, right? And I think that's where I have to embrace the patience of even going through the process with them, because spending all the time with her, spending all that time, energy, and effort to build her up just to lose and then feel like I've lost everything when I still have other great dogs around me. I would say, you know, had I not had these other dogs or even the people around me, I would have definitely given up, man. And I think that's one thing that she's helped me with, is that there's still hope, you know, at the end of the day. And even, yeah, they always say hope is only good on Sundays, but, you know, when you have these other dogs that force you to get up, force you to get out of bed, force you to go do more, and they still force you to be better, because at the end of the day, they still got to be taken care of. So having Junior, having Hera, and then also having the dogs here has definitely helped me just stay moving, which is definitely the most important thing, especially when you're going through any type of loss, because the moment you start dwelling, the moment you stop moving, that's when all the dark thoughts, all the darkness really starts to shine the most, and that's not a good thing.
And again, you know, life is about growth, and growth is very uncomfortable for those that can't fathom anything changing in their lives. But in fact, as God tests us all, He gonna change something drastically, and see again if you really about that life. So I'm glad that Jamarcus has been able to stay focused. He knows, and I know how important time is and how we spend it, right? I spend a lot of time educating myself and teaching myself and applying these things and sharing as much as I can with those people that are watching. And we got a lot more to learn. That's the beauty of it. So much more to learn. If you had to, you know, maybe give somebody some advice on time and failure and opportunity, missed opportunity, taking advantage of opportunity, doing the work, showing up, staying consistent, man, what would be some of your best advice, man?
Stay moving.
Yeah.
I mean, the rules are simple. You have to stay moving. You can't just, you know, take a moment, especially, I would say, don't get comfortable. And that's something I've always struggled with. The moment you feel like, oh man, are you done enough? You haven't. That's the part you have not. You're just now scratching the surface, and you have to keep going, because that's the part I think most of us always fall into, that trap of comfort. They start doing enough, and like, oh man, you know, I've done plenty. I'm starting to see some results. Let me just stop here. So I would say, don't get comfortable. You have to stay moving no matter what. And the moment you feel like you hit a threshold, try to push past that. You got to keep pushing beyond that. And that's something I know I'm constantly still working on, because I do hit certain milestones and then I just stop. Whereas like, yo, why not just keep going? You got to 10,000, why not go to 15,000 or 20,000, you know? And so even having those moments and having people like Trev around to help give you that clarity in those moments, like, yo, you notice that every time you hit a certain milestone, you just stop. Why not just keep going? I'm like, oh, you know, I have no idea. I don't know. And that's just something that I've always done. So then when he highlighted that, I'm like, yo, when I start hitting certain milestones, I'm like, yo, there's more that you can do now. So you got to stay moving. The moment you get comfortable is the moment you're going to fall into that trap. So got to stay moving. The rules are plain and simple.
Now the Bulldog, we know, don't need tons of exercise. He's already kind of gotten bigger, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I feel like he grew into his body a little bit.
He got a little height on him, man.
Because he was a little chunky roly-poly at first.
Now, did you ever think we was going to get a Bulldog is the real question?
No, because you said we weren't.
Also true.
Look, I'll never get a Bulldog, and here we are. We got a Bulldog, and now I'm like, dang, man, it don't seem too bad. I might have to get one too.
It's the people, though, right?
It is.
You get that joker from Chris Moore, it's a different Bulldog.
Now, yes, I will say, depending on where you get the dog from, definitely does matter. Like, I ain't gonna get, like, if I was gonna get a Pressa, I ain't just gonna go anywhere and get a Pressa. Like, I know who I'd get a Pressa from.
Facts, man.
Yeah.
Facts. And in this case, good boy, Joker, good boy, Joker, good boy, Joker.
There you go.
Come on, man. Good boy, good boy, good boy. Let him have that win. Now the Bulldog, as you know, it's a very popular breed. A breed that I think a lot of people fancy. and it's a breed that transfers to a lot of different communities, and people who don't like dogs already watch us. So when we add a new breed, a happy breed, the Joker's kind of like one of those dogs that's always smiling. Tron kind of has a dumb look on his face. Zara's a skeptic. Ego is always serious. and I think, let me see, who's the general? He's like this. And then he fired up, though. He's like a firecracker. I think between Maestro's confidence already that we've seen and his happiness, like Maestro's a happy dog. Probably one of the happiest dogs puppies I've ever had starting this early. The Joker's gonna give us some comic relief.
Yes. Good boy.
Because he's a booger wooger.
Boy, yes. Good boy.
All those little rewards, people, those things matter.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Then they walk off.
They start walking off with it.
Yep.
There it is.
He's keeping it. He's keeping it. He's keeping it. And oftentimes when they drop it, that's when you pull it back again and get him. Yeah. See, y'all don't be knowing, man.
Yeah, good boy.
It take a lot of work to get this little stuff going, man. And this is the shit that's kind of boring.
Yes. That part.
It's boring.
That's the part. There's a lot of stuff that people don't see behind the scenes. Yes, good boy. Good boy.
But when you see it, you go, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get the results you want every time. If you watched, you just saw Maestro not give a shit. And I remember them days.
Good boy, Maestro. Or not Maestro. Joker.
I get so many names, man. I'm looking at the cat for 5 minutes and I'm like, what is this nigga's name? Loki. Loki, and I know he don't know his name. At least the dogs have some, let's start like, oh, now you talking to me. The cat like this. What I would tell you is business, pet health was one of the things, Bunny, you learned from going to Pet Global and Super Zoo about the pet care market and what that looks like.
If you also focus on breeding, you're focused on the wrong thing. Because when we went to Pet Global and then we went to Super Zoo and you see all that that everybody's investing into in terms of just trying to better pet care overall in terms of pet health, from dogs to cats to lizards to you name it. I mean, man, breeding it's like a grain of sand in comparison to that world. And you see in all these things, you're like, dang, man, like this is a very, very large world and a huge opportunity to really take a step back and like, yo, how do we continue to keep bettering our pets? How do we keep, taking a step back and bettering our dogs, our animals overall, based on, what's out there and what's available. And we're always focused on the wrong things because everybody's all, man, I gotta get this money, gotta breed these dogs. But like, yo, if you really focus on taking care of the dog and the dog's quality of life based on the tools and things you have access to, you can do so much more. And I think that's one thing that Pet Global and Super Zoo both opened my eyes to, that, man, the pet industry is way bigger than, as I've said once again, than just breeding dogs. Like, I remember when I used to be, oh man, we about to get our first litter and so our first dog I'm like, I was thinking tiny. And then you go to these type of events, you have no idea how big that world really is. And granted, it was mostly treats and stuff like that, but then you find those little slivers in there, you're like, oh man, this is what they're doing. This is what they're gathering this data to do so that they can figure this out, so that your dog can maybe live this much longer. All these little things. And you would have no idea if you weren't, and I know I sure had no idea, because I wasn't looking in that place. And when he said, hey, we got to go here, I was like, damn, I would have never thought to go to this. But then you go to it, you're like, oh damn, now I see why we had to go to this.
It's all those fun things that I assure you, I didn't want to go to Pet Global or Super Zoo, but if you don't go, you don't grow.
Yep.
This goes back to the point I think he made in the, earlier, is just the staying moving part. My job is to think about where I believe we need to go and where things are going versus what's going on. If my barrier to entry is taking two dogs and breeding them to this market, and that's all it takes, then that's too easy. Building businesses that can compete worldwide or globally, that's the hard part. And in fact, most of the world is going to get more hip to, I think, pets and pet care and pet health, and we need to see how the world is thinking, how the businesses are thinking, what they're doing, and how we can participate. Participation, a lot of times you look like us, I'll put it like this. We went to 2 major shows, and to be clear, there was not, I don't believe, one black booth at either big show. Not one. Not one black booth, I believe. They had black folks working there, to be clear.
Oh yeah.
They was putting shit together and some was back there a little bit, but there wasn't one black booth in the pet care space or pet brand space or pet business space. And one of the spots had 1,100 booths there, man. Think about that. 1,100 booths and not one was black. I'm not gonna tell you it matters, but I'm gonna tell you that we participate in the wrong things.
Man, even when we sat there, what was that, Pet Global? We sat there
4 or 5 minutes.
at the end of the day for like 30 minutes, and we counted how many like just black people even walked out. And that number was mad small, and you're like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
And even when we went to the Black Pet Network little after party, it was all 12 of us was in one room.
That part.
Even though there were thousands and thousands of people there. So you go.
Thousands.
It's hard for me to keep talking about breeding dogs when the business it's not that. The business is education, and we have to breed to teach, which is what I've said, but it's becoming 10 times more clear as we continue to go and investigate the world and where I think it's going. So if you're out there trying to figure out what to do in the dog space, or you're like, man, I want to start a business, you believe it or not, you could start a dog digital media company. You could get behind the camera. You could help people build their YouTubes. You could help shoot commercials. There's a lot more, there's marketing and all kinds of stuff that goes into this industry.
All stuff that we can do just to record.
And we can
do
cover
all that,
all those I's and dot those T's, but I mean, it's limitless to say the least, because when the name is bigger than, where you started, man, if we stayed FBK, we would always be associated with bullies, which is not a good term. The dogs are great. The term is not my favorite. And we just got to think about the future, man. We got to think about the future. So, did he just run?
Yeah, man. He was pulling at that thing, bro.
And dipped. That's old Dipset right there. I should have named him Dipset. But these Bulldogs, I'll tell you, he's going to be a blast. So, people, anywho, man, we're going to get to the rest of our day. We wanted to come out and do a little slight section with Marcus. We're going to keep the dogs rolling, man, and watch the Joker, Maestro, and eventually there'll be 1 or 2 more dogs. Watch them thrive, man. Watch them thrive.
We'll get some reps first.
Most times, Tron's been active for the last couple of days. The challenge is if you don't do nothing, you start acting donkey-ish. And
Tron, out! No. Sit.
He's sitting with his, put your dick away, Tron.
Work. You gotta wash his blood now.
Yeah, you don't want him to hurt his knee.
Yeah, come on.
So on the upside is, you might as well just hang it up.
I'm going to. Tron.
Good thing that he's
Ow!
there still. It's working on communication, and that makes sense. You don't want the dog just to do things aimlessly.
No.
So in this case,
Sit.
when you are basically working Tron, so okay, let's put him into the sand pit, and let's also make sure that he understands the importance of communication.
Work.
And
One more rep, brother.
he'll pull, yeah, there we go. We gotta get some more sand, so with 14 bags of sand, and that ain't enough.
Tron.
I might have to somebody bring me a bucket.
Out.
Always communicate.
Okay.
Slow but steady, slow but
Work. Good boy.
sand and all be in your ass.
Yeah.
I ain't got no shoes on, I ain't got no socks on, so my
Crocs,
case
boy, you have no sand on your toes.
is over.
What, Tron?
So Tron style here is super nice today. We'll give Tron 30, 40 minutes easy. And I'm talking easy. Setting that timer again, people. This is low.
We'll do a 30 minute to start, see where he's at. You can see that.
Yeah, see it. Yeah. We see a little 29, 30 minutes to start, man. We'll come back in 30 minutes, check and see where Tronisha's at. And yeah, it's 205, man. Golly.
So just so y'all know, man, y'all see how simple that was? Came out, 3 quick reps, now just let him hang. Like, I think people overthink the training side of it, where I gotta be out here for an hour working with my dog. It's like, yo, 3 good reps and then put them up. Or in this case,
But the first year is hours and hours over a course of weeks.
collectively over the
Way more work to get to this point.
Yeah.
But once you get here, it's just management.
Yeah, but I mean, even when I watch him do, like he says hours and hours collectively, yeah, but he's doing like little 5-minute segments with like Maestro, for example. He's like, hey, I gotta bring him out, I gotta do this with him, then put him up. Hey, I gotta bring him out, go do this with him, then put him up. Now, collectively throughout the day, it does add up. But if he's not out there for an hour doing 4 or 5 different commands, hey, let's go for a walk and let's do this, it's all spread out through the day, and that's all it really takes.
Literally. All right, Tron, good luck, man. Have fun. So you drop the kid off somewhere. Like, hey, man, you be good now. Have fun. Don't hurt yourself.